A bowl of cold gazpacho is the ultimate survival tool for the scorching heat of the Andalusian summer. While we think of it today as a vibrant, tomato-red soup, the history of this dish is a long, winding journey that predates the arrival of the tomato in Europe by over 1,000 years. To understand gazpacho, you have to look at the landscape of southern Spain. In the intense, dry heat of the Mediterranean, hydration isn't just a preference, it is a necessity for survival. Before the modern era, laborers working in the olive groves and vineyards needed a way to replenish fluids and electrolytes without building a fire in the middle of a blistering day. The solution was a liquid salad, born from the most humble ingredients imaginable. The original gazpacho, dating back to Roman times, was a starkly different creation than what you might find in a bistro today. It was a rustic, utilitarian mash of stale bread, garlic, olive oil, and vinegar. There were no tomatoes, no peppers, and no cucumbers. It was essentially a way to soften hard, day-old bread into a drinkable, energy-dense meal. The vinegar provided a sharp, acidic bite that cut through the heat, while the olive oil offered the necessary fats to keep a worker going through the afternoon. The transformation of gazpacho into the colorful dish we recognize today didn't happen until the 16th century. When explorers returned from the Americas, they brought back a treasure trove of new crops, including tomatoes and bell peppers. These ingredients were not just novel, they were perfectly suited to the Andalusian climate. When they were finally incorporated into the traditional bread and oil base, the soup underwent a radical evolution. The tomato provided the water content and the acidity, while the peppers added a complex, vegetal sweetness. But the true magic of gazpacho lies in the science of the kitchen. If you simply mix oil, water, and vegetables, you end up with a separated, unappealing mess. The secret to the perfect, velvety texture of a traditional gazpacho is the process of emulsification. When you blend the ingredients at high speed, the starch from the bread acts as a stabilizer. It binds the oil and the water-rich juices of the tomatoes and cucumbers into a stable, creamy suspension. This is why a truly authentic gazpacho has a luxurious mouthfeel that feels almost like a dairy-based soup, even though it contains no cream at all. Beyond the texture, there is a profound nutritional logic to keeping the soup raw. By avoiding the heat of a stove, the ingredients remain in their most potent state. Heat-sensitive vitamins, particularly vitamin C, are notoriously fragile. When you boil or roast vegetables, you lose a significant portion of these nutrients. In a bowl of gazpacho, you are consuming the vegetables in their raw, natural state, preserving the full spectrum of vitamins and antioxidants. The vinegar also plays a dual role that goes beyond flavor. In the days before refrigeration, the acidity of the vinegar acted as a natural preservative. By lowering the pH level of the soup, the vinegar created an environment that inhibited the growth of harmful bacteria, allowing the soup to stay fresh for longer in the heat of a Spanish kitchen. It is a brilliant example of how traditional culinary practices were often rooted in food safety long before we understood the science of microbiology. Today, gazpacho is celebrated as a global icon of healthy, Mediterranean living, but it remains deeply tied to its roots. It is a dish that demands the best ingredients, the ripest tomatoes, the most fragrant garlic, and the highest quality extra virgin olive oil. Because there is no cooking to mask the flavors, the quality of the raw produce is everything. When you sit down with a glass or a bowl of gazpacho, you are participating in a tradition that spans centuries. You are tasting the ingenuity of ancient laborers who turned scraps of bread and oil into a refreshing elixir, and you are benefiting from the botanical bounty of the New World. It is a dish that proves that sometimes, the most sophisticated culinary experiences are the ones that require the least amount of fire.